Dead Rails just had a massive update. This week they added a brand new town with a very cool cave to explore, as well as this new sword, which allows you to turn zombies against each other. They also added horse carriages, which you can weld stuff on, and much, much more. Before we begin, remember to subscribe. Only 2% of you are subscribed, and it would just help me out a ton. Now, let's jump into today's video. First, let's go check out this brand new town and cave that they've added. I'll also show you how to unlock all secret parts of this cave. This can spawn anywhere from 10,000 to 60,000 meters, but you'll know it's the right town if it spawns a little bit off the rails and also has a big sign at the front. Inside each house, you can find 8 bonds waiting for you, and sometimes even a note like this. Anyways, you can find a jade tablet in the church, which will be important for later, so be sure to sack it. Now, go into the sheriff's office and take this torch. You can find the cave behind this church here. And next to these carts, you can find some dynamite. In order to enter, put a dynamite at the walled-off section like this, and light it with your torch. It should bust open, and you'll be able to enter. Now, once you enter, some skeleton miners will start spawning. They're pretty easy to beat. Simply hit them on the head once, and they're gone. When you enter, take a sharp left turn, and keep going until you see this crevice. Behind these crates, you'll find another jade tablet. You can also find some gold and coal on the ground, which you can also get from the new ores. There'll also be these cave zombies which carry around dynamite. They're the main concern since they're super fast and can kill you in one shot. Anyways, near the back of the cave, you can find this walled-off section like at the start. You'll need dynamite and a torch to open this part. You can probably just find some on the ground if you didn't bring one. Be sure not to take the mask in the center, but only take the jade tablet and any other valuables you need. You'll see why in a second. Anyways, go through this arch here, and behind these 3 barrels you can find the final room. Now, place all the jade tablets you've collected onto this pressure plate, and this door should open up. Inside, you can find a ton of valuables, a good bit of bonds, but most importantly, this emerald sword. This emerald sword can supposedly tame enemies that you've killed to fight for you, so we're gonna check that out in a minute. Anyways, now we're just gonna go back and collect the mask. The minute you collect it, start running as fast as you can to the exit. 3 big black werewolves will spawn and they'll start hunting you down. If you don't have the vampire class or at least a horse in your sack, you'd be pretty cooked. This is actually a good opportunity to test out the emerald sword. As you can see, the minute I killed this werewolf, he started fighting his buddies for me. And while they're all distracted, I can help him kill the rest. I don't think it's guaranteed that they would get converted after dying to Emerald Sword, but the odds are still pretty good. This guy's all friendly now, but I don't think he's gonna follow me or anything, sadly. So we're just gonna have to leave him behind. Now you may ask, what is the mask good for? Like the sword, it can revive any dead enemy and make them fight for you. We don't have any enemies around here, but I could revive this guy and he would be friendly. To get it back, this guy has to die, so we're sadly gonna have to execute him. Let's go test this out on bandits. So we have some bandits here that I just killed. We're gonna first see if it can revive their horse. Looks like it did, but it's now running away from me. I'm gonna need that back. So now let's try it on the bandit. And looks like it works. He's completely friendly to me now. Now that it's turning night, let's see if this bandit will actually be of any help. And looks like he's attacking the zombies like he would attack a player. He's actually able to one-tap a zombie with the sawed-off shotgun, which is actually kind of overpowered. We're gonna be helping by converting some zombies, so this guy doesn't die. The best way for this is to hit the enemy zombie while they're distracted killing the friendly ones. Now that we've got ourselves a little gang of zombies, we're way safer now. Sadly, our bandit guy died to a zombie. We can't even revive him anymore with the mask, which is a bummer. And by the end of the night, I've got myself an entire horde of zombies. This would be so much more useful if you could take them along in your sack, or if they would still follow you around. Let's test this out at the castle. Since it has so many big buff werewolves and vampires, I think this would be super useful. Imagine having an entire army of werewolves to your disposal. Luckily, right outside the castle, we have a werewolf and their cubs. They'll be useful starting off. Another werewolf foolishly charged at me from inside the castle, so I turned him into another ally. I guess this vampire didn't really want to fight. Luckily, he came back down like a good boy, so I turned him into my worker. I tried to convert this one werewolf inside the castle, but I shot him one too many times, sadly. Anyways, after baiting this one werewolf outside and making him fight my other two werewolves, it sadly died. Luckily, there was one outside the castle, so I quickly converted him. I also converted this vampire before it got brutally touched. One of my werewolves somehow got inside the castle and was being touched by vampires, so I briefly converted them too. I guess one of the vampires didn't want to fight, so he just flew away. Now that we have plenty of werewolf and vampire friends, I think it's time to storm the castle. Due to my speed as the vampire class, they can't really catch me. And now that my werewolves are inside the castle, it's pretty much game over. I can simply swing from the sidelines and get even more of them converted. And just like that, I've easily beat the entire castle with this emerald sword. This is easily one of the most overpowered weapons, but it's kind of hard to get. Now, before we go try it out at the final checkpoint, let's see how it does against a town. After converting one, all the zombies' attention will be drawn away from me. I then can just hit them without any danger and convert even more. Now that I have this little gang, I've pretty much won. But sadly, I couldn't convert this gunslinger zombie. I see there's actually some werewolves taking out my squad, so we're gonna make them fight for us. By hitting them while they're distracted, I can convert way more while not taking damage. Nighttime is actually helpful in this scenario, as I can get even more friends. These zombies will do most of the fighting for me, so barely any zombies will actually come and try to kill me specifically. I even had this gunslinger on my side later on. So yeah, this thing can pretty easily kill the whole town if you play smart. Simply keep your distance and it should be super easy. Lastly, let's go try it out at the 80,000 meter landmark. So in order to get close without dying, I'm gonna have to down tons of snake oil beforehand. They do get converted, but they die super fast. I don't really think it's worth it to use it on bandits. They're slow to begin with, and it would probably be more efficient to defeat them with your gun. However, for the zombie part of this fight, this is absolutely worth it. The more you kill with the sword, the easier this fight becomes. Near the end, you'll probably have a small town's worth of zombies at your disposal. As you can see here, this little zombie gang I have going on here does all of the fighting for me. I simply just convert any zombies I can kill to add on to this zombie gang. Eventually, they'll just stop spawning. This is honestly super useful at 80,000 meters too, unless you summon Nikola Tesla. I'm pretty sure you can revive him with the mask and get him to fight for you too. Comment down what you think. Next, let's do something more simple. Taming wolves. As you can see, I did come a bit prepared for this run since I don't want to accidentally die while taming these feral wolves. You can supposedly tame wolves by stuffing dead bodies in their face, so let's go ahead and first collect some bodies for these wolves. I think any corpse can work, so we're just gonna use the zombie corpses. Oh yes, they've also added some zombie variations like this ironclad zombie here. They have a 5% chance of spawning and have 3 different forms. Here's another variation I found. It's probably the deadliest one since it carries live dynamite, which can one-shot you if you let it get close. Anyways, we're gonna keep this ironclad guy to see if we can sell him for anything later. These wolves are actually surprisingly rare to find. Luckily, some of them decided to make a home out of the bottom of my train while I was AFK, so I took this chance and tamed as many as I could. Looks like they'll turn on their fellow wolves the minute they're tamed, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to execute the rest of their buddies. Now, I do want to eventually raid the castle with these wolves, so we're not gonna send them off to die at the town yet. A little further down the road, I see this werewolf just sitting around. Perfect chance to test out these wolves. Anyways, the minute I released them from my sack, they just straight up kidnapped the werewolf. I guess it somehow worked fine since the werewolf ended up dead, but these guys did take a ton of damage. I saw 2 more wolves for me to tame down the road, so I immediately threw these corpses at them, and luckily I was able to tame both before they mauled each other to death. There were 3 more on the side of the road, so I took this gunslinger zombie as well as some random ones and threw them at the wolves. Apparently you can also feed the wolves their dad to tame them. As you can see here, I tamed this one by giving it a werewolf corpse, which is honestly kinda messed up, but we're just not gonna question it. Now that my sack is full of wolves, let's see how they fare against the castle. So first off, this stupid vampire thought it would be a good idea to challenge my wolf army, so I obviously sent all of them out to maul him. And next, their big papa wolf tried it too, but he got kidnapped like the one from earlier, and obviously died. Surprisingly, we've not had many losses so far, but many of them have taken tons of damage. Sadly, this one pup got brutally touched by his dad like a second later. Now that a good few werewolves are out, we're gonna just release them all. They actually did pretty decently against these werewolves. With my help, we were able to kill like 3 total before most of them died. Sadly, I only could rescue 2 wolves before night came. We could barely kill half the castle with 10 full wolves, which isn't actually too horrible. They're definitely not overpowered in combat, but I can see how they can be useful. You can put some down, so enemies will be attracted to them instead of you, and then with your gun you can simply gun them down. I can only imagine what it'll be like with 100 wolves. So yeah, pretty sick feature. Before we move on to nightmare mode, let's take a quick look at the horse carriage. Along with a horse, you can find this in any barn in the game. I have no clue why I tried this at night. Anyways, you attach it to your horse by simply rubbing it against the back of your horse. It should attach automatically. The horse doesn't really become any slower, and you can also weld stuff onto the carriage like this. This can be super useful for the Pony Express challenge, as it would help you carry stuff you can't fit onto your sack. Overall, a really sick feature. I'm gonna try to make a battle card out of this in a future video. Finally, let's try out the nightmare mode. For this, you'll need 1 win. Luckily, I have exactly 1 win, which is pretty sweet. For this, I'm first gonna be using the cowboy class. Basically, there's less loot in houses and zombies deal more damage. You won't heal naturally either. So I'm just gonna first buy a bandage and 3 coal since I spawn with a gun. I'm gonna also build this newspaper contraption since there's no way I'm gonna fight at night. Anyways, right outside the spawn, I ran over these few bandits, but they somehow survived. Sadly, I got hit once, so I was forced to use my bandage, but these bandits died too, so that's a free $70 for me. I have no idea why I did this, but immediately after I raided the town. All I really wanted to do was loot the bank. So first I did my classic bait trick, where I just rounded them all up and headshot them. As you can see here, it actually takes 3 headshots to kill a zombie as opposed to 2. It's honestly not that much worse than normal. After successfully doing that, I tried glitching into the bank. But sadly, this stupid gunslinger zombie hiding in the bank was ready for me, and the minute I got in, I died. Honestly, I could have done way better if I was a bit more careful. Let's try this one last time. So this time, I actually spent some bonds on buying some guns and snake oil. Since you do get bonds when you win, I'm seeing if I can earn back my bonds by winning. So immediately I saw this gold ore and went to town. I'm gonna need every bit of money that I can get. I'm also gonna try to tame some wolves to do the fighting for me, since I don't really want to take too much damage. While raiding this furniture store, I actually almost died immediately when these 2 zombies ambushed me. Sadly, I wasted a snake oil, but I did collect some bodies and also some coal. I was able to somewhat successfully tame these wolves, but I did end up wasting another 2 snake oil chasing them down. These wolves ended up offing their friend immediately after being tamed, so I only have 3 left. I'm gonna get every bit of money that I can, so first off, we're gonna be raiding this general store with these wolves. While they fight, I'll do my best to help with my melee weapons. Sadly, one of our dogs died, and these 2 were doing this weird dance. But sadly, all we really did that for was this little tiny vase. I found this gunsmith, but all it had was a rifle, which I already had. Luckily, there was a barn a little down the rails, so I put the rest of my wolves to work. Sadly, another one of these wolves died, leaving me with just a single wolf left. We also found a cavalry sword, a lantern, and also some valuable stuff, which is pretty sweet. We now have this super cool carriage, and also a horse we can raid the town with. Honestly, this first bit was super light work. The zombies still die to a single rifle headshot. However, I don't even know how. But after touching this wall, I lost about 80% of my health, and this annoying little zombie came behind me and finished the job. This is honestly impossible. Overall, this is probably the biggest update we've had in a while. The new cave honestly is super cool, and the ability to make friends with the mobs is also a really cool idea. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching, and have a good day. Bye-bye.